time 8:25.
If you depend on reading to see emails and text messages, it's time to fix your eyes, not your font size. With LASIK MD's PresbyVision procedure, see near, far, and everything in between without bifocals, progressive lenses, or reading glasses. And for a limited time, we're offering up to 20% off the price of your PresbyVision procedure, so you can start enjoying clear vision today. Book your free, no-obligation consultation at LASIKMD.com. Financing available.
680 News Time, 8:26.
Now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Richard Dedman. There's a backlash against a wide range of technology companies these days. Keenly aware of this is Jay Hutton, CEO of Visibility Group Technologies. The Vancouver-based firm writes software that analyzes security video.
On the one side of our business, we're achieving what you would consider to be metadata. We're identifying gender, age, sentiment, that sort of thing. This is all de-identified, or what the industry calls anonymized data, that is not stored, but is used and collated for analytics. For example, how many females 25 years old, between 25 and 35, were in my store on a Friday between 7 and 10 p.m.
His firm also has a security side, such as looking for weapons or spotting people banned from venues. And it's here that we've seen problems such as misidentifying non-white people.
A lot of the press was around the 2014 algorithms. Admittedly, the industry still has a great deal of work to do. The last round was 2018. Paraphrasing the executive overview of that report, the changes between the 2014 and 2018 algorithms were revolutionary, not evolutionary.
A reckoning led by European governments could be coming, but Hutton and others are pressing for the lighter touch of self-regulation.
We are pursuing an industry-led self-advisory, self-governance protocol, which is overseen by government to allow for the adequate and reasonable use cases for facial recognition. I think the industry needs to do that. I think the industry needs to show leadership for that, and it needs to get government to sign off on that. We need to do that because as an industry, we're wrecking it for ourselves. I don't believe the business itself or the technology itself is a threat to humanity. I can see significant areas where it enhances public safety and creates greater value to consumers, and I think we need to lead.
Jay Hutton, CEO of Visibility Group Technologies. In the Business Center, I'm Richard Dedman.
Interac is always innovating and evolving to help more Canadian business owners thrive. We help coffee shops, burger joints, yoga instructors, convenience stores, music teachers, and a whole lot more. Pay, get paid, and move your business forward like never before. Interac, innovating for you. Learn more at interac.ca. It's here. Our instant savings event is on now, helping you save on travel. Book a WestJet vacation package through RevTag.ca and instantly save. Plus, get 250 air miles bonus miles with your trip. Book your vacation now and pay for it monthly with RevTag.ca's new, easy-to-use payment option. Don't wait. Plan your perfect trip today. Certain restrictions apply. RevTag.ca. You'll hear it here first.
Breaking news when it happens.
On 680 News.
And checking the business travelers forecast. Vancouver, mostly cloudy and 8 degrees. Calgary, 3 and mostly cloudy. Montreal, it's 5 today. San Francisco, a high of 16 degrees, 19 in Los Angeles. Clear sky in Las Vegas and a high of 15. 12 in Dallas today, and clear, and Chicago, mostly cloudy and 3 degrees. Downtown Toronto right now, it's mostly cloudy and 5. 680 News Time, 8:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Melissa Nicole and Stuart McGinn.
Good morning. This is Saturday, the 2nd of November. In for Stuart McGinn, I'm Asher Ross.
Here's what's making news this hour.
A 3-alarm fire at an abandoned building downtown has sent 2 firefighters to hospital with serious injuries. They were working to put out the flames when they fell from the roof, 3 stories up.
The CN Tower Climb for United Way challenges participants to climb almost 1,800 steps to help communities rise from poverty to possibility.
The method of penalizing major polluters in the province is undergoing a major restructuring. Critics of the bill now raising the alarm, saying it's letting offenders off easy.
The colorful leaves are piling up, and you can start to see your breath. Fall is well underway. Full traffic report in second, or full weather report coming up after traffic.
The Leafs are focused on improving. The Raptors are back at it after 2 nights off, and the Steelheads drop their 4th straight. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, employers should be less focused on compensation and more focused on an employee's well-being. That's one takeaway from a new survey.
8:31.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones in with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Zach Bodenstein.
Hey, Asher, good morning. This report's brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart on the eastbound 401. Looks like all this construction is wrapped up at Port Union in the Express. Looks like those crews are leaving the scene right now. In the meantime, though, still slow from Meadowvale in the Express to Port Union, but definitely improving a lot now that we have 2 extra lanes to work with. So Express or collectors, take your pick. It's going to be moving fine through this area. We have North Meadowvale ramp to the East 401 still closed for construction. Northbound 400 ramp to the Barrie Service Center now blocked, all because of a crash. So just watch out for that. You'll have no access through here. We have the West 407 west of Bayview without 4 left lanes for some construction going on, and the West Finch ramp to the northbound 427 also closed for some road work. But we have the westbound 403 now open to eastbound Aberdeen. We had that ramp shut down for a crash. Again, that has cleared, so you can use this ramp. And Shooter remains closed at Jarvis for a fire investigation. That story coming up after your weather report. Got PC Optimum points? Now's the time to redeem them. It's the bonus redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart. Get more for your points now until November 3rd. With the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Oh, cold start to November this weekend, well below seasonal. That's kind of the trend now for the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, that time of year and the weather has really shifted after that Halloween storm. Cloudy at only 5 degrees right now at Pearson. We may see a few scattered showers pass through this morning and early afternoon. Then we're partly cloudy tonight, lows near 0. Sun and cloud for Sunday, highs only near 6. The average this time of year is 10. Your guaranteed high for the day, 7 degrees.
680 news time, 8:33.
And we begin with breaking news from the downtown core, where a 3-alarm fire has sent 2 firefighters to hospital.
It happened near Jarvis and Shooter Street. 680's Mitch Burke joins us live as we learn more about the conditions of the 2 firefighters hurt. Mitch.
On Shooter Street, right near Jarvis, prompting a 2-alarm response before the intensity of the flames sent that to 3rd alarm status. And then as crews began to douse the flames, reports of those 2 firefighters falling from the roof of the building, perhaps as high as 3 stories. One of them suffering serious injuries and is currently in intensive care at St. Mike's Hospital, while the other firefighter suffered a broken leg. Now, the fire is out and has been now for a couple of hours. District Chief Stephen Powell tells me a demolition permit had reportedly been issued for the building, and that a building inspector is on site right now, along with the fire marshal, assessing what parts are safe to re-enter. We do have word that Mayor Tory is headed to the scene. He is set to speak there at around 8:45. We will bring you his remarks. And as you've heard in traffic, Shooter Street is still closed between Jarvis and Mutual for the investigation. Reporting live, Mitch Burke, 680 News. 680 News time, 8:34. Happening now, it may be a tall challenge for some, but it's all for a great cause. The CN Tower Climb for United Way is happening right now, and we'll see participants climb the nearly 1,800 steps of the city's largest structure, and it's all for charity. 680's Jordan Reed is at the event this morning, speaking with participants, and joins us live with more. Jordan.
Yes, the energy here is just incredible. You would have no idea that it's a Saturday morning at 8:30. It honestly feels like everybody came here together to celebrate. Now, you don't have to be an athlete to do the steps, but it certainly doesn't help. Tom, he's here with his fellow athlete, the entire team, and they were competing against each other a little bit.
Firefighters is all a community. We are a big family, and we do things together. We support each other, and it's just test each other. That's all.
So how did Tom do?
Oh, it was awful. I'm way out of shape. I need to work out.
The good news is that the view up here is sweet. Nicole McEvan from United Way says the organization has been doing the CN Tower Step Challenge for now 42 years. So we work with over 270 social service agencies around the Greater Toronto region to do frontline services for support and poverty relief. So all the money goes right back into the community. The goal for today and tomorrow is $2 million raised. Reporting live at the CN Tower, I'm Jordan Reed.
6 City News Time, 8:36. Toronto police continuing to investigate after shots rang out in an underground lot of a commercial store in an area near Don Mills and Bedford Drive. Police say a man fired multiple shots at another person who is now suffering from gunshot wounds. Several tow trucks were reportedly seen fleeing the scene of the shooting. There's no word if this is connected to the ongoing violence between tow truck companies in the GTA.
Police say
the ongoing violence between tow truck companies? What are you talking about?
Area of Scarborough. The suspect allegedly used a gun to assault both victims before running off. Police are now searching for a person considered to be armed and dangerous, wearing thin green army jogging pants and stands just under 6 feet tall. If you see somebody fitting this description, you are urged not to approach them. Call 911.
The search continues this morning for the suspect involved in alleged armed robbery in Mississauga that sent a shooting victim to hospital with serious injuries. Constable Sarah Patton tells 680 News what we know so far.
We received a call just before 8 p.m. last night that an adult male had gone to a local Toronto hospital with a gunshot wound. It was due to a robbery that occurred somewhere in the area of Brandon Gate Drive and Catalpa Road in Mississauga.
Investigators say the victim made his own way to hospital, at which point Peel police were made aware of the shooting. His injuries are reported to be non-life-threatening. No suspect information has been released.
680 News Time, 8:37. It's shaping up to be a fight between the Minister of the Environment and an environmental activist. 680's Adam Steinberg has the details on changes to the way the province plans to penalize major polluters.
Out with criminal proceedings and in with heavy fines, Environment Minister Jeff Yurek says the changes will allow his office to deploy quick and effective tools against polluters. Lobbying groups like Environmental Defense disagree. They tell the Toronto Star these offenders will be less deterred by the new structure of fines per incident. A representative for Yurek says the proposed expansion of fines is more complex than how it's being described by its critics, adding that cases of serious violations will still be prosecuted. Fines under the new structure range from $10,000 to $200,000. The changes are part of a wide-ranging bill titled the Better for People, Smarter for Business Act. It's open for public input until November 27th. I'm Adam Steinberg.
680 News Time, 8:38. On the heels of that classic fall storm that made for one of the wettest Halloweens in years, you'll notice a cooler feel to the air on this first weekend of November, as our weather specialist Denise Andriachi explains.
The trend is for the start of November to be below seasonal, well below the seasonal average. Highs this time of year are closer to 10 degrees. We're in the single digits for the next 7 days. And in fact, by next weekend, we could be seeing highs of only near 2 or 3 degrees.
And a heads up, starting Monday, running through most of the week, Denise says we'll be dealing with some consistent precipitation falling as rain during the day and potential flurry activity at night. Meantime, your guaranteed high for today, 7 degrees. It's expected to fall down to the freezing mark tonight. In 30 seconds, we'll check your gas prices. It's 8:39.
At the Monitoring Center, you pay only $9.99 per month for your alarm monitoring. Whether you're activating your alarm system for the very first time or switching to us from your current provider, you do have a choice, and that choice is clear. Switching is easy. Call the Monitoring Center today and get our 6-month free sign-up bonus, 1-866-247 for $9.99, or visit themonitoringcenter.com.
1-866-247 for $9.99. 1-866-247 for $9.99.
And now for the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas dropped 2 cents at midnight to just under $1.17 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 8:40.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville declared, "We'll never be the fastest. We'll never be the cheapest. We'll never be the snazziest dress.
We will never be the cheapest or the snazziest dress." No shit.
At Pizzaville, we want to make the best pizza, stone-baked.
the traditional Italian way.
Pizzaville Stone-Baked Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
It's Sleep Country's 25th birthday, but right now you get the gift. As a thank you for 25 amazing years, you'll get a free $25 birthday promo card at any Sleep Country store. It's good for anything, including mattresses, headboards, and bedding, like pillows, duvets, sheets, and more, with no minimum to spend. It's our gift to you, so get yours before November 12th. It's on now. Sleep Country, all for sleep. One card per person per transaction. Card expires November 12th, 2019. Cannot be combined with gift card purchases. Use in store or online. See in store for details.
680 News Time, 8:41 with an eye on your drive. Zach Bodenstein's
Report brought to you by Mazda Canada. New problems on the southbound DVP. We're now down to just one single lane south of Don Mills. There are emergency vehicles on scene. A fire truck just arrived for this crash. Tire debris all over the place.
You gotta watch out for tow truck drivers with guns.
So right now, we do have very heavy slowdowns on the south DVP from approaching Don Mills to south of it. You better believe it's going to get even worse. So in the meantime, there are alternates that are moving relatively well through this stretch. Bayview looks fine, and if you want to take Don Mills, that's a solid option as well. But definitely try to avoid the south DVP as you can, because things are barely moving through here. We have the north 400 ramp to Barrie Service Center block. That's all for a collision. And then we're dealing with road work. Eastbound 401 McCowan Collectors, 2 right lanes block. We have North Meadowvale ramp to the east 401 shut down, and then eastbound 401 moves well beyond this as all the road works wrapped up at Port Union. Westbound 401 also in good shape. West Finch ramp to the northbound 427. That's a no-go, closed for construction. Westbound Derry is now blocked at Airport Road because of a spill, and shooters shut down at Jarvis for a fire. The 7-passenger Mazda CX-9 is Ajax's best large utility vehicle in Canada for a second year in a row. Book a test drive at Mazda.ca. Let's check the forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
Chilly start to this first weekend of November. It's 5 downtown, but it feels like 2. Cloudy and 5 over at Pearson Airport. We may see a few scattered showers pass through later this morning and through the early afternoon, then partly cloudy this evening and overnight, lows near 0. Sunday, we will see a bit of sunshine, but highs only near 6 degrees. The average is 10. Sunday night, we fall to lows near +1 with a chance of showers. May see some flurries on the outskirts of the GTA. Your guaranteed high for today, 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 8:43. The Toronto Raptors have their biggest test of the season tonight in Milwaukee, but much of the talk centered around the Bucks' reigning MVP, who some think could wind up being a future Raptor. Sportsnet 590 The Fan's Simon Bennett has more on the Greek Freak.
Okay, we'll get to the speculation in a second, but first, the Raptors' defending champs starting well, 4-1 to open the season, and with Kawhi Leonard gone, others are picking up the load.
That's not opportunity
covered for Spicy P. Pascal Siakam with at least 30 points in 3 of the first 5 games for Toronto. Now tonight, their biggest test, a rematch of last spring's conference finals, with the Raptors in Milwaukee to face the Bucks. Reigning MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a free agent in the summer of 2021. Is Toronto an option? John Hollinger of The Athletic thinks so.
Toronto's always seen itself as this more of a destination point for international players than American players, and this definitely would fall in line with that.
But now, though, he's a Buck. Tip-off tonight, 8 o'clock on Sportsnet 1. I'm Simon Bennett.
Your top stories in sports with Maria straight ahead, 680 News Time, 8:44.
All we said was William Ashley and...
The William Ashley Warehouse Sale? It's finally here! I love the William Ashley Warehouse Sale. 20 departments, 25,000 square feet. It's Toronto's most iconic warehouse sale. Come on, let's go!
You can't have this much fun shopping online. The 44th annual William Ashley Warehouse Sale returns with up to 90% off tableware, kitchenware, and home decor by all the famous brands you know and love from William Ashley. Sale on now. 111 Credit Road, Highway 400 in Langstaff.
This Movember, here's to the straggly mustaches, the lopsided ones, the oddly sexy ones, the itchy, patchy, raggedy ones, the peach fuzz ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The scruffy ones, the black, blonde, red, and gray ones, the ones grown by Dad, the ones grown for Dad. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Sign up now at Movember.com.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
And we've got an overcast sky in downtown Toronto. It's 5 degrees, feeling like +2. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Asher Roth.
And I'm Melissa McCauley. Here are the top stories this hour.
2 firefighters are in hospital with serious injuries after falling off a building that they responded to for a 3-alarm blaze. Crews were called to the scene at Jarvis and Shooter just before 2 this morning. Jarvis is now reopened through the intersection, but Shooter remains closed. And thousands have jumped into their jogging pants and are testing their limits. The CN Tower Climb for United Way is underway. The goal to help communities rise from poverty to possibility.
And the trip on the roads here, Zach Bowden State.
Big problems on the southbound DVP south of Don Mills, down to just a single lane for a crash. It is jammed approaching Don Mills to south of it. I'll tell you about this at 8:51.
I'm Denise Andriacci in the 680 News Weather Center. Mostly cloudy with a chance of showers today. Your guaranteed high 7 degrees.
Time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, it's Maria St. Aubin. Maria.
Thank you, Asher. Leafs captain John Tavares has missed the past 6 games with a broken finger. He practiced Friday for the 2nd straight day and could potentially return tonight against the Flyers. And Austin Matthews says having JT back would be a huge boost.
He's our leader, captain. Obviously, he's been a dynamic player since he stepped in the league. So I think he'd much rather play with those guys than without him. But we'll see what his update is tomorrow, I guess.
Puck drop is set for 7 in Philly. Watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC or listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Meanwhile, in the league last night, the Islanders took down Tampa 5-2. Washington beat up Buffalo 6-1. Then squeaked past the Sharks 3-2, and the Ducks took down the Canucks 2-1 in OT. To basketball, where LeBron James outdueled Luka Doncic as his Lakers took down the Mavs 119-110 in OT. Meanwhile, the Warriors fell to 1-4 on the season after a 127-110 loss to the Spurs. The Raptors haven't played since Wednesday. They're back in action tonight, facing the Bucks in Milwaukee. Game time is set for 8. Watch it on Sportsnet 1. In Belleville, Nick Patan had 2 goals and 2 assists as the Marlies annihilated the Senators 7-4. And in Hamilton, the Steelheads fell 4-2 to the Bulldogs. It was their 4th straight loss. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour for any time on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 8:47.
You text it, DM it, say it 5 times a week. Let's grab a drink soon, ? It should be more like, let's grab a drink soon, ! Because not everyone who says it, does it. If you miss your crew, why wait for them to make plans? Hit someone up you said it to 3 weeks ago. You'll laugh, catch up, remember the good times. So will they. When's the last time you made a drink soon happen? JP Weisers. Hold it high. Please enjoy responsibly.
The world needs visionaries, teachers, leaders, but the world also needs these guys. Garner Andrews, Bryce Kelly, hosts of the Lawn Chair Prophets, a podcast for all the lands. Behold, as they discuss the minutiae of everyday life from the comfort of some woven fabric folding lawn chairs. What's the pettiest thing you've been dumped for? How weird is that weirdo you work with? All will be answered on the Lawn Chair Prophets. Download and subscribe with your favorite podcast player and at frequencypodcastnetwork.com. Find your frequency.
In 680's Health and Lifestyle News at 8:48, Sobeys has announced it is launching a recall of its vegetables because of potential listeria contamination.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says the recall applies to the Compliments brand of fresh-cut vegetable products. Several products are affected, and these include sweet kale blend, vegetable platter with a ranch dip, broccolini, Collier's chopped cauliflower, Power Green blend, and green beans. All have the best before date of October 31st, and they were sold across Canada. Now, there have been no reports of illness linked to the products, and listeria poisoning symptoms can include vomiting, fever, muscle aches, and headaches. Blake Lambert, The Canadian Press.
And now time for the Road Ready Report. Here's our automotive expert, Tim Demopoulos.
If you plan on storing a car for the winter or any time more than 30 days, make sure you do some prep work to avoid costly problems when you start it up again. Top up your fuel tank to keep moisture out of the system and add some fuel stabilizer to keep your fuel fresh. When it comes to the battery, you can invest in an inexpensive trickle charger, which keeps your battery conditioned, or simply disconnect one of the battery terminals. Although doing that could mean you'll lose your radio presets in current time. Keep the parking brake off to avoid the pads fusing to your rotors, and put some bricks or tire chocks behind the front and rear tires to avoid any potential rollaways. With the Road Ready Report, I'm Tim Demopoulos.
In 60 seconds, a check of the roads and your extended forecast. 680 News Time 850.
Of the parking brake for parking?
Catch all the excitement of your favorite slots and table games at Casino Woodbine. Sign up for a free One Rewards membership today, and you could be eligible to get your first $250 on us. Need a lift? We've added new Toronto shuttle bus routes that will...
Fuck, where the fuck did he go? 3-year-old boy stabbed in Winnipeg to be taken off life support. A 3-year-old boy who was stabbed multiple times while he slept in his bed was to be taken off life support on Friday. Roxanne Moore said her nephew Hunter Hayes Strait Smith was to be removed from the machines keeping him alive at Winnipeg's Health Sciences Center. She said Hunter suffered severe brain damage during the brutal attack Wednesday. My nephew didn't do nothing to anyone. He was so happy and innocent, Moore said in an online message. Outside the hospital Friday afternoon, dozens of family, friends, and supporters gathered for a vigil. The boy's mother, Clarice Smith, and other relatives hugged each other and wept during Indigenous prayers and drum songs. Their very distraught family friend Daryl Contois said, I too have kids, and to see a baby laying there that did no harm to no one really broke my heart. Daniel Jensen, 33, was charged with attempted murder on Thursday. Police said that generally a charge may be upgraded when a victim of a crime dies. Jensen was also charged with assault for an altercation police allege occurred between him and Hunter's mother. Clarice Smith had been in an off-again, on-again relationship with Jensen for about 6 months. He is not Hunter's father. Police have said that at the time of the attack on the boy, Jensen was under a court order not to contact the mother. Court records show he was charged with assault with a weapon and uttering threats in July. He was also charged this week with failure to comply with recognizance and probation orders. A relative said Hunter's mother had been planning to move home to Manigotagan, about 150 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. Police believe there was an argument between Smith and Jensen at somewhere on Winnipeg's Main Street. It was after that encounter that police alleged that Jensen walked to the home where Hunter was asleep and stabbed him several times. Families say the injuries were brutal. Bianca Smith, another of Hunter's aunts, said Thursday the family cannot understand why the child would have been targeted. Smith said she had met Jensen a few times but did not know him well. Hunter was smart, mischievous, and happy, she said. His mother is devastated, she added, and has stayed by the little boy's side since he was brought to hospital. I have no words to describe it. Nothing like this has ever happened in the family, Dan said. It's hard, really hard on everybody.
Helping individuals and businesses move money in 55 currencies. OFX is on a mission to lead the age of wireless money by combining a streamlined digital experience, 24/7 human support, and competitive rates. Whether you are sending money to family abroad, paying for overseas purchases, or just want to hang on to more of your money as it travels around the world. Learn more at OFX.com or simply download the OFX app. It's how the world moves money.
Traffic reports every 10 minutes on the ones.
Traffic alerts at once. This
is 680 News.
Paramedics, firefighters, and police officers will be taking over Union Station this evening in what's being dubbed the largest joint emergency exercise ever at the busiest transit hub in the country. Metrolink spokesperson Anne-Marie Aikens tells 680 News all the agencies involved have emergency plans on paper.
It's also important that that emergency plan is then tested in real life as you can, and you evaluate people and the plan itself. Did it work? Do we need to make any changes? And then go from there till the next exercise, because your emergency plans are only as good as the last time you practiced them.
And if you see the emergency responders or people who look injured at Union Station between this evening at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, do not call 911. Aiken says the exercise will look real. There are 150 actors set up to look like casualties, so that means there will be fake blood and some smoke on the platform. Your business report is a minute away. It's 8:55.
The Well,
That's
Toronto's most
psychological.
exclusive new community, sets the stage for incredible experiences.
There's a shitload of tourists in the hotels down there that don't speak English. You don't watch the fucking
workspaces and
news.
residences. Located on Wellington, this luxury boutique condo rises 14 stories and overlooks a new grand promenade below. Tridell's signature series is destined to become the ultimate in exclusivity in Key West. Tridell, built for life.
Your garage is full of stuff, and stuff is just another name for junk. 1-800-GOT-JUNK can be there in just 90 minutes, and we work until midnight, 7 days a week. Now get out your pointing finger, use it to dial the phone, and park tonight in a clean garage. We've cleaned lots of garages for just $199. A really big, really messy garage might be $100 or $200 more, but that's a cheap price to pay for a clean garage. Goodbye, junk. Hello, relief. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or contact us through our website, 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
680 News Time, 8:56. Time for the weekend business report.
I'm Chris McCusker. Canadian companies should be focused less on competitive compensation and focus more on effectively implementing and communicating a compelling total rewards program. That's one of the takeaways from a new survey by Gallagher. Melanie Jeanette is National President of Benefit Services in Canada.
It became really clear that the needle wasn't moving very far as it relates to base compensation increases. We're really consistently year over year seeing about a 2.5% investment. And we realize that if we're going to attract, retain, and engage our team members going forward, that we're going to need more than just that to incentivize them.
Now, as far as rewards go, 29% of companies have no communications plan, which means employees might have benefits but not know about them.
No, it's a valid point, Chris.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them. Employers may invest heavily in all of the tools in that total rewards toolkit. What we understand is that even a budget-friendly total rewards program that's well communicated is far more of a contributor to attraction, retention, and engagement than maybe a really rich program that's poorly or not communicated at all.
And mental health issues are a concern too?
The lens we look through at Gallagher is from an organizational well-being perspective. So are we getting at financial well-being, career well-being, mental physical well-being in order to drive towards not only the health of the people that work for us, but those that are going to be with us for the long term and drive our business results.
Correct.
Melanie Jeanette is
Don't
with
get it
Gallagher.
twisted. You don't work
and
with
at the
us.
Business
You work
Center,
for
I'm Chris McCusker.
Rexall can help you realize getting a flu shot is a really good idea. Oh, our vacation down to Florida can't come soon enough. I'm going to relax on all the beaches. I'm going to do all the shopping. I'm going to reply to none of the emails. I can't get sick right now.
Wait a minute. I'm going to be the one driving us. And the kids in the minivan. I can't get sick right now.
You probably have a reason you can't get sick right now. Help protect yourself and your loved ones from the flu. Get your flu shot at Rexall. Visit Rexall.ca for details.
Rob Ford, former mayor of Toronto. Assistants tried to remove whatever beverage Rob had brought with him, and he had a complete meltdown.
Now someone's dead. And there's a photo of the mayor with this young man.
Frequency Podcast Network presents The Gravy Train, the infamous story of Rob Ford, a harbinger for politics today.
He was Trump before Trump was Trump.
The Gravy Train, the Rob Ford Podcast. Listen and subscribe for free with your favorite podcast player or at frequencypodcastnetwork.com. Find your frequency.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, an 18-pack of Grey Ridge eggs is now only $2.77. Walmart. Save money, live better.
Richmond Hill overcast and 4 degrees this hour. Oakville overcast and 7. Cambridge overcast and 3. Aurora overcast and 3 as well. And in downtown Toronto right now, it is overcast 5 degrees, feeling like +2. Mitch Burke is the morning show editor. Adam Steinberg is at the audio desk. Amber LeBlanc is our news director. This is CFTR 680 News at 9 o'clock.
1 or 2, you say +1, +2.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News. Toronto.
Here are Melissa Nicoboli and Stuart McGinn.
Good morning. This is Saturday, November 2nd.
And good morning. In for Stuart McGinn, I'm Asher Roth. Here's what's making news this hour. 2 firefighters have been rushed to hospital after falling from the roof of an abandoned building that went up in flames earlier this morning. The latest from the downtown core just ahead.
Thousands of runners have their sneakers on and they're ready to step up for their community in the CN Tower Climb for United way.
There's a recall of a number of Compliments brand fresh cut vegetables due to possible Listeria contamination.
It's described as an exhaustive document. Sidewalk Lab says all concerns will be addressed this week when it outlines how and why your private data will be collected.
The Leafs are in Philly for a battle with the Flyers. The Raptors have a showdown with the Bucks in Milwaukee, and Bournemouth and Man U were scoreless in the first half. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, Canadians want to work for companies that are green. We'll hear from an executive at Citrix Canada on how you can attract talent by putting a focus on the environment.
680 News Time, 9:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
And this report's brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart. A more eventful drive than we want to have it. It's certainly southbound DVP, south of Don Mills. There's a pretty serious collision here that has 2 right lanes blocked. Tons of emergency vehicles on scene. It looks like at least some of the debris has been cleared up, but it doesn't really look like they're close as I'm saying this right now. We have another emergency vehicle that's pulling up to the scene on the shoulder, and crews still sweeping away this debris. It's just a single lane getting through here, as you'd imagine, jammed on the South DVP from Eglinton to south of Don Mills. You'll definitely want to experience an alternate, and if you can, Don Mills itself, I'm not seeing any major slowdowns as you travel through here, so you can get around this just fine. On the northbound 400, the ramp to the Barrie Service Center, that's all blocked for a collision, and then we just got construction to tell you about because westbound QBW ramp to Dixie is now wide open. So westbound Finch ramp to the northbound 427 closed for that road work, and westbound 407, it's just one right lane getting through past Bayview. The North Meadowvale ramp to the east 401 is all closed off as well. We have westbound Derry blocked at Airport Road because of a spill, and Shooter remains closed at Jarvis for a fire investigation. It's time for your annual flu shot. To get yours, simply visit your nearest Shoppers Drug Mart. Protect yourself. Getting vaccinated is your best defense against the flu. Subject to availability. With the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Is on its way with the cooler air that settled in after that Halloween storm. It's only 5 degrees with cloudy skies over at Pearson. We could see a few passing showers this morning and early afternoon, partly cloudy overnight, lows near 0. We'll see a bit of sunshine on Sunday with highs near 6 degrees. Average this time of year is 10. The guaranteed high for today, 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 9:03.
2 firefighters have been rushed to hospital after falling from the roof of an abandoned building that went up in flames earlier this morning.
The call came in from Jarvis and Shooter Streets just before 2 o'clock this morning. 680's Mitch Burke joins us live with the latest. Mitch and Asher, this was initially a 2-alarm call, but shortly after fire crews arrived on scene, the flames growing to 3rd alarm status. Now, as for the 2 firefighters, they were in the building fighting the flames from the roof when they fell. Apparently, they had been walking on the roof. They took a step to a part of the roof they thought was stable when it gave way. It's reported that one broke his leg, while the other, now confirmed to be a veteran captain, is in intensive care right now in critical condition, his family by his side. Chief Matthew Pegg out with a message of support on Twitter this morning for the 2 injured members of the service, saying his thoughts are with the both of them. A city building inspector and the fire marshal on scene right now working to determine what parts of the home are safe to re-enter. Now, the three-story building in question was totally vacant. District Chief Stephen Powell tells me a demolition permit had been granted by the city not too long ago. Obviously, still very early on in the investigation as they work to determine just what happened here. But you may recall this could potentially be part of a recurring problem of vacant heritage buildings being all of a sudden going up in flames. There was another building not too long ago, just a couple of months ago, just north on Jarvis, that went up in flames and totally destroyed that building, vacant as well. Reporting live, Mitch Burke, 680 News.
But if I say it, it's
680 News
paranoia.
time at 9:05. And happening now, thousands of Torontonians are stretching their legs and testing their limits, all to help those in need. The 2019 CN Tower climb is now underway with proceeds going to the United Way. 680's Jordan Reed joins us live with more. Jordan.
More to hear, so I know I need a
Yes,
second
listen,
one
this
already.
It's all about showing your local love, and that community feel is very present and alive in this room right now. Nicole McKevin from United Way said this is all about turning poverty into positivity. This year, we're aiming for $2 million. We've got 9,000 climbers climbing, and we're still taking donations today.
Why?
Matthew is 12 years old and just finished the climb.
So tired, I went non-stop. Last year I had a couple breaks, but this time I went non-stop, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
We are
That
too.
kid
Now,
sounded
you don't
fat.
have to be an athlete to
He
take
sounded
part in the
fat.
challenge.
This is our 8th time and always been involved in United Way. I love it. I'm 65 years old, and if I can do it, lots of people can do it for United Way.
So they have no excuses.
I'm happy
No
with age.
excuses,
I know how to use the
absolutely.
elevator buttons, bro.
Okay, come on, Carrie. You're making me look bad. So far, the United Way and the participants here have raised $1.5 million. So they're very close to their $2 million goal. Reporting live at the top of the CN Tower, I'm Jordan Reed.
680 News Time, 9:06. Police are investigating after bullets sprayed the underground parking lot of a store near Don Mills in Winford just before midnight, sending one man to hospital. Witnesses tell police that one man was seen firing shots at another man. Officers arrived to find the victim with non-life-threatening injuries. He was rushed to hospital. Investigators say several tow trucks were then seen speeding off from the area. There's no word yet on a motive, and the details of the suspect is not clear.
Toronto police are investigating after a man and woman were allegedly robbed at gunpoint in Scarborough. It happened near Brimley and Eglinton just after 11:30. The victim's injuries are believed to be minor. The suspect is described as 5'11" with a thin build and was last seen wearing army jogging pants.
4 people are on the run from police after an alleged carjacking in Scarborough. Police say the victim was approached by a white import sedan in the Morningside and McNichol areas of Morningside Heights at around 9:30 last night. Constable David Hopkinson tells 680 News 3 of the men had guns, the other a knife.
All the windows in his car had been smashed.
Just in case all those guns jam.
In a white import sedan.
Suspects allegedly fled in the victim's black-colored BMW 329i. The victim thankfully was not injured.
Check your fridge. There's a major recall of a number of Compliments brand fresh cut vegetables due to possible listeria contamination. The products include sweet kale blend, broccolini, chopped cauliflower, green beans. All of the products have been sold nationwide and have a best before date of October 31st. They were sold across Canada, and anyone who has them should either throw them out or return them to the store they were purchased. There have been no reports of illnesses linked to the products. However, listeria poisoning symptoms include vomiting, nausea, fever, and severe headaches.
680 News Time, 9:08. Sidewalk Labs still needs to answer a number of privacy issues before it's proposed.
I don't want to be
City on the
a lab
waterfront
experiment.
gets the final stamp of approval. Some of those concerns are expected to be addressed next week at a meeting with Waterfront Toronto's Digital Strategy Advisory Panel. 680's Adam Steinberg has a look at the new Digital Innovation Appendix.
It's described as an exhaustive document outlining all the technology and data that will be used to collect private information. Members of the advisory panel telling the Toronto Star they want to know why private data needs to be gathered and how Sidewalk Labs plans to collect it. The information provided so far, they say, has been frustratingly abstract and repetitive. Now, we already know the nature of some of that private information: volume of pedestrians, license plate numbers, and noise levels, to name a few. The advisory panel and representatives with Sidewalk Labs will meet this
license
Thursday to
plate's
take a
really
deeper
loud.
dive. The deadline for
You
final
get a
approval
citation
on the
in your
Keystone
email
project
account.
is March 31st, 2020. I'm Adam Steinberg.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check the price of gas.
680 News Time, 9:09.
This is 680 News.
You know, it'd be great if emergencies and cash flow both cooperated at the same time, but life doesn't work that way. If you find yourself needing some extra money right now, if you own your car or your home, get a loan. Borrow up to $30,000 from Prudent Financial. Approval in minutes and money shortly afterwards. Get a loan that's part of a credit rebuilding program and is way cheaper than a payday loan. Go to prudentfinancial.net or call 416-634-2020. 634-2020. PrudentFinancial.net.
And the 680 News gas price update. Empro says the price dropped 2 cents at midnight to $1.16.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 9:10.
Gloomy, chilly winds and overcast skies. Ugh, that sounds fun. Take a break from dreary and get into the warmth of Ripley's Aquarium of Canada. You'll enjoy more colors, shapes, and sizes under one roof than you could possibly imagine. From Rainbow Reef to Canadian waters and Dangerous Lagoon, there's a world just waiting for you to explore. So when the weather tempts you to stay inside, explore an underwater world in the heart of downtown Toronto. Tickets at Ripley'sAquariumofCanada.com.
680 News Time, 9:11.
Traffic and weather together on the one. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
And this report's brought to you by Sportsnet. Big problems on the southbound DVP as you head past Don Mills. I'm looking at the camera right now. Only one single lane squeezing by. It's the left lane, so things are jammed from approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. And as more motorists take this route, it's going to get even heavier. In terms of the scene right now, it looks like a vehicle completely totaled. A tow truck is hooking that vehicle up to its tow. And again, a ton of emergency vehicles there. The fire crew that was there did leave the scene, but I'm not sure that means they're any closer to clearing this problem. Hopefully, once this vehicle's on the tow and it's on its way, they can sweep up the debris and they're good to go. They have swept up quite a bit of debris, but I still see a lot left. So we'll see what happens with this. In the meantime, all these alternates are in great shape. If you take Don Mills itself, it does look much better traveling through here. Right now, we are seeing quite a bit of construction going on right now. Good news, the North 400 ramp to Barrie Service Center now open, was closed because of a crash. So we'll get to this road work. North Meadowvale ramp to the East 401's closed. Then we have 4 left lanes shut down, westbound 407 west of Bayview. That leaves you with just 1 right lane to work with. Westbound Fitch ramp to the northbound 427, that's closed as well. Off of the major highways, 2 pretty significant incidents. We have westbound Derry blocked at Airport Road for a spill, and then Shooter is closed at Jarvis for a fire. Tim and Sid are also on the radio. Listen live weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. With the forecast, Denise Andriachi.
Partly cloudy downtown Toronto. It's only 5 degrees, a cool start to November. We could see a few scattered showers later this morning and through the afternoon. We're partly cloudy through the evening and overnight. We drop to lows near 0, a mix of sun and cloud, and highs near 6 for Sunday. That's pretty much it for sunshine over the next 5 to 7 days. Chance of showers moves in Sunday night, and then it's pretty unsettled Monday through to next weekend. 5 degrees downtown Toronto and at Pearson Airport right now with a breezy wind out of the southeast. Your guaranteed high, 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 9:13.
We'll get you home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
So how do you turn the Lazy Boy Moonlight Sale into a Moonlight Mega Sale? Well, when you think you can't cut prices anymore, you keep cutting. When you think the discount is big, you make it huge. That's when you've got yourself a Lazy Boy Moonlight Mega Sale. Check out Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries this weekend for door crashers, huge savings, and prices that are truly mad. Hurry, the madness at Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries ends tomorrow.
Canadians don't let weather slow us down. We get out there to work, to play, in the truck that more of us drive. The Ford F-150, built with capability to help you own every season and smart technology that makes every job easier. Right now, get 0% purchase financing for up to 60 months plus over $8,000 in total value on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck built for any season. Get your F-150 at your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's 5 degrees and partly cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Melissa Nakavali.
And I'm Asher Roth. Here are the top stories this hour.
2 firefighters have been taken to hospital after being injured while on the job responding to a fire at an abandoned building. It happened around 2 this morning near Jarvis and Shooter. 1 firefighter has serious injuries. And hundreds of participants are climbing up the CN Tower this morning, all for a good cause. The CN Tower Climb for the United Way is taking place right now, with participants climbing up 1,800 steps up the city's largest structure.
A quick check on the roads. Here's Zach. And southbound DVP, an absolute mess right now. Jammed approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. That's where you'll find it down to just a single lane for a collision. Many crews on scene. I'll tell you all about this at 9:21.
I'm Denise Andriachi in the 680 News Weather Center. Cloudy and cool this weekend. The first weekend of November, your guaranteed high, only 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 9:15. And now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Maria St. Aubin.
Thank you, Melissa. After a 6-5-3 start to the season, it's clear the Leafs are playing below expectations, but November is a new month, and Mike Babcock says he's hoping his team can find their way and get a signature win.
We got to find a game that we can bottle, or that's our formula, that we can say this is what we do and do it every day. So when we say this is what we do, we know what we do.
The Leafs are on the road tonight. Taking on the Flyers will be playing in the second half of a back-to-back. Defenseman Jake Muzzin is out due to personal reasons, while captain John Tavares could return tonight. He's missed the past 6 games with a broken finger. Puck drop is set for 7. Watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC, or listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Meanwhile, the Raptors haven't played since Wednesday. They're in Milwaukee tonight for a date with the Bucks. It'll be the first meeting between the 2 teams since the Eastern Conference Finals. Tip-off is set for 8. Watch it on Sportsnet 1. Coming up, Richmond Hill's Denis Shapovalov will battle Rafael Nadal in the Paris Masters semis. That starts at 11:30. And happening now in EPL action, Bournemouth and Man U. Bournemouth is actually up 1-0 over Man U. Sports at 15:45 past every hour. For any time on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV, Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:16.
680 News.
Now part of your smart home.
Alexa, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News.
At TireCraft, we know real life happens at the worst possible time. A flat tire on your truck in the mall parking lot. A rattling sound that throws a wrench in your autumn drive. The first snowstorm hits, and your winter tires are still in storage. When real life happens, trust TireCraft. Until December 31st, get a $40 GT Radial prepaid Visa card by mail when you purchase a set of 4 GT Radial Ice Pro 3 tires or other qualifying models. TireCraft. Real people servicing real life.
Hashtag Tim and Finn. Hey, Tim.
Yes, it.
So the radio show we're doing, we're still talking about sports, of course.
Sure are.
Got a question, though. Not a big deal or anything.
Yeah.
Since we're on the radio, I assume clothing is optional?
You do know we're still on TV, right?
So that's a yes?
Tim and Sid, serious about sports and fully clothed. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:18. It's a rare return home for U.S. President Donald Trump.
President Trump hasn't spent much time in his longtime home at Trump Tower here since he was elected president, but he returns on Saturday for the first time since changing his primary residence to Florida. On Twitter, the president said he's been treated very badly by political leaders of the city and state. Mayor Bill de Blasio tweeted, "Don't let the door hit you on the way out," or whatever. While he's here, the president's expected to watch a UFC fight at Madison Square Garden. Brian Clark, ABC News, New York.
Riot police have been using tear gas and water cannons to break up a rally of thousands of mass protesters in Hong Kong. Demonstrators are demanding the meaningful autonomy promised when Britain returned the territory to China in 1997. Today's protests mark the 22nd straight weekend of increasingly violent unrest. 680 News Time, 9:19. The United Auto Workers Union is sending a proposed new deal with Ford Motor Company to its 55,000 employees for a ratification vote.
The deal was reached relatively quickly and without the conflicts that led to the 40-day strike by United Auto Worker members against GM. Union workers at Ford will start voting Monday on their proposed contract. That includes wage increases, no reduction in health care benefits, and workers won't pay more for their coverage, and ratification bonuses of $9,000, though that's slightly less than the $11,000 bonuses workers at General Motors won last month. The union said the Ford agreement also includes the promise of investments that will create or save more than 8,500 jobs. Linda Lopez, ABC News.
And coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 9:19.
Getting you where you need to go
faster.
The most traffic in Toronto.
Everybody wants to go on strike at once.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about serious money.
Hey, there's no time for jokes. If you want to make some cold, hard cash this winter plowing snow, you need the SnowX 8100 Power Plow.
Tell us more, Bill.
This plow allows the operator to expand the plow width from 8 to 10 feet with the push of a button.
This plow's a wow!
And it'll carry 30% more snow than a straight blade plow.
Cash in on the SnowX 8100 Power Plow today with the Snow Pros at Cody Bros.
1919 Wilson Avenue.
And don't forget to bring your wallet.
I'm waiting for frogs and fire to fall from the sky.
All we said was William Ashley and...
The William Ashley Warehouse Sale? It's finally here! I love the William Ashley Warehouse Sale. 20 departments, 25,000 square feet. It's Toronto's most iconic warehouse sale. Come on, let's go!
You can't have this much fun shopping online. The 44th annual William Ashley Warehouse Sale returns with up to 90% off tableware, kitchenware, and home decor by all the famous brands you know and love from William Ashley. Sale on now. 111 Credit Road, Highway 400 in Langstaff.
When you need to know, now.
680news.com. 680 News Time, 9:21. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
This report's brought to you by Alterna Savings. Huge issues on the southbound DVP south of Don Mills. We're down to just a single lane because of a collision. 4 or 5 emergency vehicles on scene. The car that's completely totaled, by the way, that's hooked up to a tow truck right now. Still quite a bit of debris on the road, even though motorists, crews have swept this up and put it on the shoulder. There's still quite a bit of it on the shoulder. Hopefully this clears relatively soon. Doesn't really look like it will. But right now, the southbound DVP's jammed from approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. Don Mills itself, a very good alternate if you can take it to get around this problem. And then anything beyond just south of it looks like it's in good shape. And continuing on the Gardner QEW, both directions, I should add, are in a good shape as well. Just some construction to tell you about beyond this one issue. Westbound Finch ramp to north 427 closed. No access north Meadowvale to the east 401, west 407. We have 3 left lanes taken out McCowan to Warden, and then 4 left lanes just past Bayview. Westbound Derry all blocked because of a spill at Airport Road, so you'll have to make your way around that. That's causing delays on Airport itself. And then Shooter shut down at Jarvis for a fire investigation. Switch your mortgage to Alterna Savings with rates as low as 2.919% APR. You get a mortgage that fits your budget. Limited time offer. Visit Alterna.ca to book an appointment and see terms and conditions. So let's check the extended forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, 6 degrees and partly cloudy downtown, close to our guaranteed high, which is only 7 degrees for today. Average high this time of year, 10. It feels like 3 across most of the GTA. Tonight we fall to lows near 0. Highs for Sunday near 6 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud before the chance of showers moves in Sunday night. Then Monday through to Thursday look unsettled. Wet weather Monday, Tuesday, and as temperatures cool Wednesday, Thursday, we're looking at flurries for the GTA. Mostly cloudy and 5 degrees right now at Pearson Airport. Your guaranteed high today, 7.
680 News Time, 9:23.
From finger painting to times tables, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to prepare kids for the future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real life skills, and prepare for what's next. So they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education or tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Now you can listen to 680 News on your Sonos smart speaker, Amazon Echo, or any Google Chromecast-enabled device like Google Home with the free Radio Player Canada app.
In the car, tune in using Radio Player on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Radio Player Canada. It's where Canadian radio plays. Put us on and find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. The motion is titled, You Broke It, You Fix It. City councilors are calling on Metrolinx to foot the bill for any road damage caused by years-long construction of the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. The Cross-Link Transit Solution will be at the center of discussions at Thursday's meeting of the Infrastructure Committee at City Hall. The motion was presented by Don Valley East Councillor Denzel Minan Wong, who tells the CBC he hopes it also sends a message to any future developers that they too will be on the hook for any incurring road impacts. Metrolinx says it has read the motion and is willing to reinstate all parts of the road and urban realm once the 19-kilometer LRT line is completed. It's set to open sometime in 2021. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have the weekend business report. 680 News Time, 9:25.
If I waited for change to happen, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm Michael Yanniff, a 37-year-old teacher, and thanks to the Harvey Brooker team, I lost the 160 pounds that were killing me. If you're thinking, I'll do something tomorrow, stop kidding yourself. Make the call today. Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. No pills, no starvation. It's the #1 men's weight loss program in the GTA. Call 416-222-9887, harveybrooker.com. Remember, if you could do it alone, you would have done it already.
Valspar pours the right stuff into every can for the right reasons. Only until Wednesday, get 25% off gallon cans of Valspar Reserve Paint at Lowe's. Proven performance and guaranteed color. With Valspar, when you do it right, you can't go wrong. Get it at Lowe's.
Hi, I'm Joe Mimran, lead judge of St. Michael's Hospital's Angel's Den, Canada's hottest medical research competition. 8 teams of scientists will wow us as they pitch for $500,000 in funding. Live stream and vote on November 13th at angelsden.ca.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
680 News Time, 9:26.
Now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Carl Garnash. Are you and your company on the same page when it comes to the environment? According to a survey commissioned by Citrix Canada, nearly 60% of Canadian workers want to work for a company that is green. Ed Rodriguez is the General Manager and Vice President of Sales for Citrix Canada.
I think that this is one of those situations where organizations are looking to attract the best and brightest talent. At the same time, they're looking at how to become environmentally conscious. And then the third kind of pillar there is, how do you reduce costs? And it turns out that solving all 3 of those problems happens when you're able to look at implementing a more mobile workspace type of solution for employees.
A number of businesses are being encouraged to implement mobile workplaces to help reduce their carbon footprint by allowing employees to skip the commute and work remotely. Rodriguez says across the board, everyone wants to work at a greener and environmentally conscious organization, but there is a sliding scale.
When we took it all the way down to the lowest end of, I'll call it the youngest generation, Generation Z, and the millennial generations, 66% of them is looking at this to be something that's a priority, and then 83% of them, it becomes that differentiator for what organization they're going to work for. So it's certainly pronounced at the lower end.
He adds that he knows firsthand the importance of putting a focus on climate change.
I was brought up actually in the state of Florida. We had hurricanes upon hurricanes upon hurricanes throughout my youth, and seeing sea levels rise. And now living in Canada, being Canadian, you kind of see the other end of the equation where you see really pronounced strong storms at the snow levels and really changing what does it mean to go to work every day? What does it mean to be able to handle a household of kids where schools might be closed and yet still have those same responsibilities to the organization that I'm a part of?
And Rodriguez is the General Manager and Vice President of Sales for Citrix Canada. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnash.
Schools being closed.
We make sure you're the first to know.
680 News.
Dad, why aren't we moving?
Because we slid off the road, Sam.
Why?
Because we didn't have the proper grip.
Why?
Because we didn't get winter tires.
Why?
Because I should have gone to Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac Certified Service for up to $200 off a new set of tires with my Scotiabank GM Visa card, plus a price match guarantee on all major tire brands.
Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
This Movember, here's to the straggly mustaches, the lopsided ones, the oddly sexy ones, the itchy, patchy, raggedy ones, the peach fuzz ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The scruffy ones, the black, blonde, red, and gray ones, the ones grown by dad, the ones grown for dad. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Sign up now at Movember.com.
Being right matters.
So if our weather forecast is off by more than 3 degrees,
You could win cash.
details at 680news.com.
Now checking business travelers forecast. Vancouver mostly cloudy and 8 degrees. Calgary mostly cloudy and 3. Over at Winnipeg today, it's -1, mostly cloudy. We have possible drizzle over in Ottawa, 5 degrees. Halifax clear and 6. South of the border in Atlanta, clear and 10 degrees. 23 in Orlando, Florida, partly cloudy. In Miami, Florida, clear and 27. Downtown Toronto right now, it's 5 degrees and mostly cloudy. 680 news time, 9:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Melissa Nicole and Stuart McGinn.
Good morning. This is Saturday, the 2nd of November. In for Stuart McGinn, I'm Asher Ross.
Here's what's making news this hour.
2 firefighters are in the hospital after falling from the roof of an abandoned building while getting the upper hand on a 3-alarm fire. One of them, a veteran captain, critically hurt in intensive care.
This weekend, you can get your exercise and raise money for charity at the same time. The CN Tower Climb for United Way starts right now.
The Toronto Police Services Board and 4 of its officers have found themselves at the center of a $1 million lawsuit. The mother of 5 alleging she was assaulted and wrongfully detained under the guise of a well-being check.
And well, guess what? This weekend you can. The clocks go back at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning.
The Leafs are facing a fatigued Flyer squad. The Raptors have a date with the Greek Freak, and Bournemouth is up 1-0 over Man U at the half. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, what does the shift to electric vehicles mean for energy companies and investors? We take a look at the road ahead.
680 news time, 9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the lines. And with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports, good morning, Zach Bodenstein.
Hey, Asher, good morning. This report's brought to you by 407 ETR. We're looking at big problems on the southbound DVP and, of course, heavy delays. The crash itself south of Don Mills, blocking 2 right lanes. Tons of emergency vehicles on scene. This vehicle that's completely totaled, still hooked up to the tow. We have another emergency vehicle leaving the scene right now as I'm talking about it. So hopefully that means this is closer to clearing. Still quite a bit of debris that's on the shoulder. Those emergency crews did actually brush that debris from live lanes onto the shoulder to try and clear things up. So hopefully this is gone, but for now it's jammed approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. Don Mills itself, probably the alternate you want to take to get around this. It's adding a ton of time to your drive as you travel south on the DVP, but beyond that, heading into downtown, great drive. Same thing on the QE Gardner. We have issues though on the eastbound 401 ramp to Bayview. Left lane blocked on this ramp for a crash. You can still take it. North Meadowview Vale ramp to the eastbound 401. That's completely closed for some construction, so there's no access through here at all. The West Finch ramp to the North 427 also shut down for road work. Westbound Derry blocked at Airport Road for a spill, and a new development on Shooter. Now it's westbound Shooter at Jarvis shut down for a fire investigation. They have reopened eastbound lanes on Shooter at Jarvis, so it's only one direction of traffic that's now blocked. 407 ETR is the fast, safe, and reliable choice for small business, saving businesses over 7.7 million hours each year. 407 ETR, better for your bottom line. But the forecast, Denise Andriachi.
Oh, cloudy and cold this morning. We're going to see a few scattered showers, kind of speckled across the GTA later this morning and through the early afternoon. Nothing too substantial. Some spots will stay dry. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows near 0. A mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. Highs only near 6 degrees. The average is 10 for this time of year. We'll see some showers move in for Sunday night. It's 5 degrees right now with a breezy southeast wind at Pearson. Your guaranteed high, 7 degrees.
680 news time, 9:33.
Toronto's fire chief tweeting his thanks to health officials as 2 firefighters, including a veteran captain, are recovering in hospital after a 4-alarm fire in the downtown core early this morning.
This happened near Jarvis and Shooter Street. 680's Mitch Burke joins us live with the very latest from investigators. Mitch.
Yeah, Melissa, it is a tough morning for the service right now. The call first came in from an abandoned building on Shooter Street that's right near Jarvis, prompting a 2-alarm response before the intensity of the flames brought that up to a 3rd alarm status. And then as crews began to douse the flames, reports of those 2 firefighters falling from the roof of the building. It's reported that they were on the roof. They stepped onto a part of it that they thought was stable, and then it gave way. And that fall was 3 stories. Both of them rushed to a nearby trauma center. We can tell you one of them suffered a broken leg. The other, though, is a veteran captain. He's believed to be with the service for more than 30 years now, and he suffered very serious injuries. We are being told his family is by his side right now, just down the street at St. Mike's Hospital, where he is listed in critical condition in intensive care. Now, District Chief Stephen Powell telling me a demolition permit had been granted by the city back in October for that building. That is sure to play a role in the investigation on scene, with the fire marshal and a city building inspector there right now. They're going to be determining whether the building is safe enough for crews to enter to put out hot spots. And as you just heard from Zach in the traffic center, Shooter is still closed this hour, but only westbound. The eastbound lanes have just reopened. Reporting live, Mitch Burke, 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:35. What if you could shatter your cardio goals and raise money for a cause? Well, this weekend, thousands are doing just that as they scale the nearly 1,800 steps of the CN Tower, raising money for the United Way. 680's Jordan Reed is at the climb this morning at the top of the CN Tower. Well, near the top anyway. She joins us live with more. Jordan?
Asher, that's 9,000 participants that came out, and you can probably hear behind me there's a whole cheerleading crew. These are volunteers that want to support the runners today that climbed 1,800 steps for charity. Nicole McEvan from United Way says anyone can take on the CN Tower Challenge.
Our oldest climber today is 88 years old, and our youngest climber is 4 years old. And so no matter what age you are, you can give back and support your community.
The Beardsall family agrees and are veterans when it comes to the climb.
I mean, it's good physical activity for everyone, and it also supports the communities across Toronto. So it's a win-win, and it's good for children as well. So
is the family going to keep up the tradition?
Absolutely. I don't see any reason to stop.
Now, this is the family's 15th year. That's just absolutely amazing. United Way has raised $1.5 out of their $2 million goal to go back into the local community. Reporting live at the CN Tower, I'm Jordan Reed.
680 News Time, 9:36. Toronto police are on the hunt for a man after 2 people were allegedly robbed at gunpoint. A man and woman were in a parking lot at Danforth and Savarin Street, just north of Brimley and Eglinton, when they were allegedly assaulted with a firearm and had their valuables stolen. The suspect is described as thin, black, and 5'11", wearing green army jogging pants. Toronto police say he is armed and dangerous.
Peel police are searching for a suspect after a man was shot during an alleged armed robbery in Mississauga. It happened in a laneway just off Catalpa Road near Brandon Gate Drive. That's just east of Goreway before 8 last night. Shortly after, Constable Sarah Patton says investigators were informed by police in Toronto that a man had shown up at a trauma center suffering from a gunshot wound.
No suspect information at this time. Unsure when the actual robbery occurred. No other victims have been identified. It is believed to be an isolated incident, so no risk to public safety at this time.
The victim's injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Police are still continuing their investigation.
The Toronto Police Services Board and 4 of its officers are the subject of a $1.1 million lawsuit filed by a Muslim mother of 5. 680's Adam Steinberg has more on the allegations of racial profiling and assault.
Amanda Henry got the call from Toronto Police in the fall of 2016 while shopping for groceries. Dropping everything, she rushed back to her apartment, assuming something was wrong. That's when she says she was met by an officer who told her she had broken the law by leaving her 2 kids home alone because they were under 12 12 years old. What happened next, she tells the Toronto Star, was a case of racial profiling, discrimination, assault, and wrongful detention, all under the guise of a well-being check. That was enough for a police oversight body to recommend misconduct charges, but those were eventually dropped. Her suit, now seeking just over $1 million in damages for mental distress and a breach of her charter rights, claiming she was discriminated against based on her race as a young black Muslim woman. None of these allegations have been proven in court. I'm Adam Steinberg.
And don't forget, most Canadians are turning back the clock before they go to bed tonight as daylight savings time ends for another year. In British Columbia, this could very well be the last time they bounce back and forth between standard and daylight time. They tabled legislation this past week to allow the province to stay on daylight time year-round. It's unlikely to happen unless American states such as Oregon, Washington, and California follow through on their own efforts to scrap the biannual time change. Coming up in 30 seconds, we will check your gas prices.
680 News Time, 9:39.
It only takes one person to change the world. The Maclean's Power of One podcast brings you the gripping stories of 6 unsung heroes who made history, from the World War II double agent who saved D-Day to the greatest financial whistleblower of all time. This special 6-episode series, produced in partnership with Frequency Podcast Network, is brought to you by the latest season of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, only on Amazon Prime Video. Subscribe to The Power of One for free at frequencypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas went down 2 cents at midnight to just under $1.17 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up, traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 9:40.
Find a car today, a much better way. Visit OntarioCars.ca.
Now, see here, I know you're an expert on buying a car and all, and I appreciate that, I really do. But don't you suppose that maybe, just maybe, everybody could use a little help, like Jerry here?
Well, she told me it was easy. I went to OntarioCars.ca, and don't you know, I fell in love with a beauty.
See, look up OntarioCars.ca to find sellers you can trust. Don't worry, you'll do just fine.
Hey, you're that famous actress. You must travel so much. What's the best site for hotel deals? Hilton.com. No. One with crazy savings. Hilton.com.
With their price match guarantee, if you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off.
No, one with lots of options.
Hilton.com has 16 top hotel brands. Hampton, Hilton Garden Inn, Waldorf Astoria.
Hilton.com. You should totally do their commercial.
Expect better. Expect Hilton.
You're good.
I know, thank you.
Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com.
680 News Time, 9:41.
Helping you on your drive from Peel to Durham and back, it's Zach.
This report's brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart. Well, getting into downtown, certainly very tricky this morning. We have southbound problems on the DVP. South of Don Mills, it's only a single lane that's getting through. A car completely totaled, tons of debris. It's hooked up to a tow. Does look like they're closer to clearing. There's now only one emergency vehicle and one tow truck left on scene, but still tons of debris. In the meantime, South DVP jammed, approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills, where that problem actually is, just past Millwood. And in the meantime, Don Mills is looking like a really good alternate itself. So for now, at least until these problems clear, and even a bit after that, Don Mills is your best bet. Southbound 404 before this does slow down through Major Mackenzie. New problems I spotted on the cameras, westbound 401 west of the 404 in the collectors. We have a lane blocked with a collision, tow truck on scene. That is slowing the drive down from the 404 in the collectors to west of it. If you can get in the express and everything looks great through here, we have eastbound 401 problems on the ramp to Bayview, left lane blocked with a crash, and North Meadowvale ramp to the eastbound 401 shut down for some construction. Road work continues. Westbound Finch ramp to the north 427 is closed, and eastbound 403 gets pretty busy from Eglinton to the 401 in the express. That's where crews are in the right lane blocked, so it does make things a bit tougher through here. Westbound Derry completely blocked at Airport Road for a spill. We have West Shooter closed at Jarvis for a fire investigation, and getting word from quite a few traffic spotters, Rosedale Valley shut down from Park Road to Bayview for a police investigation. It's time for your flu shot. To get yours, visit your nearest Shoppers Drug Mart. Protect yourself. Getting vaccinated is your best defense against the flu, subject to availability. With the forecast, here's Denise.
Partly cloudy, 6 degrees downtown Toronto. It feels like 4. We could see a few scattered showers later this morning through the early afternoon. Just a little bit of wet weather, and then it passes on. It's very scattered and light. We're partly cloudy tonight, lows near 0. Sun and cloud for Sunday, highs near 6. That's below seasonal, and that's the trend for the next couple of days, possibly the next couple of weeks. Average highs this time of year are 10 degrees. We're going to fall to lows near +1 Sunday night. Possibly see a few wet flurries on the outskirts of the GTA. It's 5 degrees right now at Pearson Airport, mostly cloudy with a breezy southeast wind. Your guaranteed high today, 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 9:43.
Well, the power is still out for tens of thousands of people across Ontario and Quebec because of fierce wind and rain that tore through the region over the past couple of days. Southern Quebec was the hardest hit, with more than 521,000 Hydro-Quebec customers still affected as of this morning. Authorities in both provinces say it could be early next week before the power is fully restored. Coming up in health and lifestyle news, gardening legend Mark Cullen explains why you should resist the urge to rake your leaves.
680 News Time, 9:44. Time off work is not a vacation because your home is not hot and tropical. Unless you hang in the bathroom and run a hot shower. Before the year ends, don't just take time off. Take a sell off. Where you're going, summer never ends. But these 2019 deals will. So go to Sell Off Vacations today and ask us how you can travel now and pay over time.
Your garage is full of stuff, and stuff is just another name for junk. 1-800-GOT-JUNK can be there in just 90 minutes, and we work until midnight, 7 days a week. Now get out your pointing finger, use it to dial the phone, and park tonight in a clean garage. We've cleaned lots of garages for just $199. A really big, really messy garage might be $100 or $200 more, but that's a cheap price to pay for a clean garage. Goodbye, junk. Hello, relief. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or contact us through our website, 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
We've got a partly cloudy sky. It is currently 6 degrees, feeling a shade cooler with the wind. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Asher Roth.
And I'm Melissa McCauley. Here are the top stories this hour.
2 firefighters are recovering in hospital after falling off the roof of an abandoned building that went up in flames early this morning. It happened at Jarvis and Shooter Streets just before 2 o'clock. A junior firefighter suffered a broken leg, while a veteran captain is now in intensive care with critical injuries. Chief Matthew Pegg tweeting his thanks to paramedics and to St. Michael's Hospital for treating those 2 firefighters. And thousands of Torontonians are stretching their legs and testing their limits. The 2019 CN Tower climb for the United Way is well underway.
At the check on the roads, here's Zach Bodenstein.
Looks like a lane's opened on the South DVP south of Don Mills. It's now one right lane that's blocked, but still jammed from approaching Eglinton. A full traffic report at 9:51.
I'm Denise Andriecci in the 680 News Weather Center. Mostly cloudy with a chance of showers today. Your guaranteed high, 7 degrees.
Time for 680 Sports, and from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, it's Maria St. Aubert. Maria?
Thank you, Asher. The Leafs are in Philadelphia, getting set to take on a Flyers team that's playing for the second time in as many nights. Toronto is well rested, having last played Tuesday. Jake Muzzin is out for the Leafs due to personal reasons. Captain John Tavares made the trip and could return to action tonight. He's missed the last 6 games with a broken finger. Puck drop is set for 7. Listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. Meanwhile, around the league, there's tons of action, including an early Pens-Oilers matchup at 1. You can catch that on Sportsnet. At 7, you can watch the Sens and Bruins battle in Boston on Sportsnet 360. The Habs and Stars will face off in Dallas on City. And at 10, the Golden Knights host the Jets on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 360. To basketball, where the Raptors are on the road, getting set to take on the Bucks. Milwaukee was in action last night. They mangled the Magic 123-91. This will be the first meeting between the 2 squads since the Eastern Conference Finals. Tip-off is set for 8. Watch it on Sportsnet 1. And in Hamilton, the Argos and Ticats will close up the regular season tonight. Kickoff at 7. Sports at 15:45 past every hour. Or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
680 News Time, 9:47.
Germans produce some of the most finely crafted vehicles in the world. And at Bramgate Volkswagen, every vehicle is backed by the same care Volkswagen put into making them. It's like the Germans say,
Was Hanschen nicht lernt, lernt Hans nimmer mehr.
Bramgate Volkswagen is Dealer Rater's best reviewed VW dealership in Canada. Come say Google Talk to one of the best teams in the country.
At the 410 Mayfield Auto Mall or BramgateVW.com.
Part of the Bramgate Automotive family.
Obstacles and mortgages go together like first dates and spaghetti. Especially if you've been through a bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or debt settlement. Remember the name Duga. Jaspreet Duga and his team have options for you. Alternative mortgages, private mortgages. Jaspreet Duga works for you, not the lenders. So you get the best terms and rates. Get started today at dugamortgages.ca. That's DHUGGA mortgages.ca. And tear down those obstacles. License 12880.
680 News Time, 9:48.
Astronomers are in for a rare treat next week when the planet Mercury passes across the face of the sun. This rare celestial event only happens about 13 times a century, so you won't get another chance to see it until 2032. The transit of Mercury happens because it is one of only 2 planets in our solar system that orbit the sun closer than Earth, the other being Venus, for those of you that also grew up watching Magic School Bus. On most of its orbits, Mercury passes above or below the sun as seen from Earth. Occasionally, however, the orbits of Earth and Mercury line up in such a way that Mercury passes directly between the Earth and the sun. 680 News Time, 9:49. Now the green mile. Here's 680 News gardening specialist Mark Cullen.
Here is something not to do. Don't rake your leaves this autumn. Instead, run your lawnmower over them with a wheel set on the highest setting. Then rake them up and put the leaf remnants in the composter, or just simply rake them onto your garden. The soil in your garden will benefit as worms take the leaves down into the soil and convert them into nitrogen-rich earthworm castings. Fallen leaves are not a waste product. They're a resource. And when they're treated this way, they'll help you to produce a great-looking garden, save you money, and dramatically reduce the effort. I'm Mark Cullen with the Green File for 680 News.
And a study in the Journal of Nature Communications finds about 300 million people face a risk of climate change-triggered flooding by the year 2050. That's about triple the earlier estimates. Researchers have revised the figure because the land, especially in Asia and the developing world, is several bits lower than what Space-Based Radar had calculated. Climate Central, a New Jersey-based nonprofit of scientists and journalists, says if emissions of heat-trapping gases continue unabated and Antarctic ice melts more, around 500 million people could be at risk by the end of this century. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic with Zach, weather with Denise, including the extended forecast. 680 News Time, 9:50.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Dodge Garage Doors inventory blowout sale is almost over. Buy your top quality Dodge Platinum Series garage door on sale now and get 0% financing. Your purchase must be made by November 10th. Make sure you don't miss this sale as inventory won't last. Act now, buy now, save now. Visit DodgeDoors.com. DODDS. Dodge. Remember, no one does it better than Dodge does. No one.
Newsflash from Stouffville Toyota. This is the Toyota dealership, and this is the time. Choose the offer you love most at Stouffville Toyota. Getting your car insurance looked after up to $2,500. Limited 0% financing. Gets no extra charge winter tires. Get no extra charge maintenance. We'll double your down payment up to $5,000. Pick your Toyota at Stouffville Toyota and pick the deal you love most. Yes, these are crazy deals happening right now. Ask about all the exciting details at Stouffville Toyota on Markham Road, just north of Stouffville Road. Hurry in now.
680 News Time, 9:51. Traffic and weather together. Here's Zach.
This report brought to you by Enercare. Again, these big problems on the southbound DVP, they seem to be improving as they've opened up a second lane. So right now, south of Don Mills, just the right lane block. Crews are there. As I mentioned in my last report, a bunch of them left. We had like 3 emergency vehicles leave. A tow truck still on scene, though, jammed approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. And that car that's completely totaled still hooked up to that tow truck. And we do have quite a bit of debris still left on the road. So once they clear the scene, they're going to have to still block off a lane to sweep this debris. In the meantime, again, approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills, things are jammed. If you can take Don Mills itself, it moves well as an alternate traveling southbound. South 404 fills in through Major Mackenzie. And then beyond that, looks like a really smooth drive towards downtown and then through it. Not much going on the QE Gardner in either direction. We have road work, though, shutting down the West Finch ramp to the northbound 427. New problems on the westbound 401 west of the 404 for collectors. 3 left lanes blocked for a crash. I told you about this in my last one as well, but they've had to block off additional lanes. MTO, emergency vehicles, and tow trucks are all on scene. It's jammed from the 404 to west of it in the collectors. The express moves just fine through this area. And then East 401 ramp to Bayview, left lane blocked with a crash. We also have construction on the East 403 from Eglinton to the 401 in the express, taking out the right lane. Westbound Derry's completely blocked at Airport Road for a spill. West Shooter blocked at Jarvis for a fire. And Rosedale Valley closed Park Road to Bayview for a police investigation. Call the HVAC Whisperers at Enercare today and get $40 off a furnace repair call. Enercare, no one understands your heating and cooling system better. Terms and conditions apply. Let's check the extended forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, cold conditions as we move through the start of November, below seasonal highs pretty much every day for the next couple of weeks. Partly cloudy overnight tonight, lows near 0. Highs near 6 for Sunday with a bit of sunshine, and then some showers possible for Sunday night. Maybe a few flurries on the outskirts of the GTA as temps fall to near +1. Monday, Tuesday, showers, windy, temperatures closer to seasonal, near 8-9 degrees. But then by Tuesday night and through to Thursday, very cold, below freezing for overnight and morning lows, and we'll certainly see some flurry activity here in the GTA middle to end of next week. Your guaranteed high for today, 7 degrees.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Walmart.
Walmart knows diabetes. If you have questions about managing your blood sugar, risk factors, or diabetes medications, ask your Walmart pharmacist. This message is brought to you by Sandoz.
Coming up at 10 o'clock, our Mitch Burke will have more on our top story this morning. A now 4-alarm fire that sent 2 firefighters to hospital, including a veteran captain who was critically injured. And we will check in with 680's Jordan Reed, who is chatting with the brave and generous climbers of the CN Tower for the annual stair climb for the United Way. Those stories and more at the top of the hour. It's 9:54.
It's time to get that 649 feeling with a jackpot of an estimated $11 million. So start thinking of all the ways you'd spend it and all the people you'd spend it on. Because if you win the jackpot or the guaranteed $1 million prize, you'll have plenty of joy to spread around. The next Lotto 649 jackpot is an estimated $11 million. Plus the guaranteed $1 million prize. It's a feeling you love to share. Get that 649 feeling.
At 680 News, we know weather.
And we guarantee it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll have a lucky winner of our growing cast.
No, I can't be the
Get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in November for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 to the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda. Enjoy the lavish amenities and tropical gardens of this resort just outside of Playa del Carmen.
With 6 gourmet a la carte restaurants and multiple pools around the resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing and the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda
at 680news.com.
680 News sign 9:55. Your business report is next.
The Clear Out sales event is on now at Nissan. Drive home one of our amazing SUVs built for Canada, like the Nissan Kicks. It's got best-in-class fuel economy among gas-powered vehicles. And for a limited time, Nissan Kicks for just $259 monthly, including $500 bonus cash. Get Clear Out pricing before they're gone. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. 60 months at 3.5% to 0 down. Fuel planning speeds, EV and hybrid vehicles. Conditions apply.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
I'm Martin McMillan. The transition away from gas guzzlers and over to electric cars could happen sooner than you think. And Ernst & Young is out with a report examining various adoption scenarios. I'm joined by EY strategy partner Lance Mortlock. You found that if 30% of our country's vehicle stock became electric by 2030, that would reduce domestic oil consumption by around 252,000 barrels per day. How likely is that, and what does that mean for energy companies?
They need to be thinking about getting access to market, which is obviously a big topic in Canada right now in terms of pipelines, but also potentially diversifying their portfolio into petrochemicals, maybe renewable energy, and other areas.
What are the risks for companies which fail to adapt?
I mean, there's a huge amount of uncertainty here. We don't know how fast this is going to be. There's various factors that either speed up or slow down adoption from a Canadian perspective. And, it's up to companies to think through different options that might play out and prepare for that.
But trying to project the rate of adoption is quite a challenge, isn't it?
It is. And some of the factors that we talk about in our report that are important to sort of monitor and keep an eye on, what we call signposts, are things like where is Canada going in terms of zero emission? Where are subsidies going? And those subsidies can change by province, as we know. What's investor activism doing in terms of ESG performance? Incentives? What's the price on GHG emission? And then we look at things like, charging infrastructure, the cost of EVs. I mean, the Tesla is still very expensive. Battery performance. Our climate is cold and batteries don't perform so well in cold weather. Model availability. I mean, as Canadians, we like to drive big SUVs and the model range of SUVs is not there yet.
That's Lance Mortlock with Ernst & Young. In the Business Center, I'm Martin McMahon.
Winter is coming, and that means Canadians' favorite winter sport is just around the corner. That's right, snowmobiling. Buy your 2020 Ontario Snowmobile Trail Permit before November 1st and save $80 on your seasonal permit.
Clouds. I don't believe clouds. I don't believe that.
The gift of snowmobiling with the new gift card option.
We don't know where the land is because of the clouds. How could it be up? But the clouds are way up in the air.
To buy your permit or gift card today. Royal Lighting's 8-page fall lighting sale flyer is hot off the press and loaded with incredible savings on hundreds of chandeliers, floor and table lamps, ceiling fixtures, vanity lighting, sconces, ceiling fans, and outdoor lighting. Visit Royal Lighting's huge Midtown showroom and let our professional lighting experts find the perfect light at a perfect sale price, all guaranteed in stock and ready to take home today. Save big on lighting you'll love. On sale now at Royal Lighting, 1549 Avenue Road, north of Lawrence.
Checking some regional weather conditions in Vaughan this hour, mostly cloudy and 6 degrees. Pickering overcast and 7. Milton overcast and 6. And in downtown Toronto right now, it's partly cloudy and 6 degrees. Mitch Burke is the morning show editor. Brittany Dooley joins us at the audio desk. This is CFTR. This is 680 News. It is 10 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
You are Melissa Nicoboli and Stuart McGinn.
Good morning. This is Saturday, November 2nd.
In for Stuart McGinn, I'm Asher Roth. Here's what's making news right now. A 4-alarm fire at an abandoned building downtown has sent 2 firefighters to hospital, including a veteran captain who's said to be very seriously hurt.
The State's Powered Lawn for United Way challenges participants to climb almost 1,800 steps to help communities rise from poverty to possibility.
Cooler temperatures are on the way. Your full forecast moments away.
The method of penalizing major polluters in the province is undergoing a major restructuring. Critics of the bill now raising the alarm, saying it's letting offenders off easy.
The Leafs are getting ready to bond on the road in November. The Raptors hope to take advantage of the Bucks. And Dennis Shapovalov faces Rafael Nadal in the Paris Masters semis. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, taking a hobby and making it a successful enterprise. Well, here's how a good idea can translate into a viable opportunity, even if it's not in your original field of expertise.
Wait a second.
680 News Time, 10:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
This report's brought to you by IA Clarington Investments. Again, these big problems on the southbound DVP past Don Mills. You'll find the right lane blocked with a crash. Looks like most of this scene is cleared up. They still have to sweep up some debris, and that's exactly what crews are doing right now on the shoulder. We do have still 1 emergency vehicle, 1 tow truck left on scene. Hard to tell from my view if the vehicle that actually was involved in this crash is still there. It doesn't look like it, meaning that once this debris swept up, they should be good to go, but it certainly did its damage in terms of these delays. It's jammed on the south DVP approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills at this point, and then we have south 404 slowdowns through Major Mackenzie. An update on this west 401 crash west of the 404. It's now only 1 left lane that's blocked, but it's really slow right now as you make your way through this area in the collectors from Victoria Park to past the DVP. So again, if you can, get in the express and everything looks good through that area. Elsewhere, we are looking at some problems as you make your way on the eastbound 401 ramp to Bayview, left lane blocked with a collision collision through here, and starting to get really heavy on the westbound 407 west of Bayview because it's down to just a single lane. Now, typically slow. You wouldn't think that you'd get delays through here, but it really is jammed through this point. Westbound Finch Ranch and northbound 427 closed. East 403 also a drag from Eglinton to the 401 in the express. Crews working in the right lane. We have westbound Derry blocked at Airport Road for a spill. West Shooter blocked at Jarvis for a fire. Rosedale Valley shut down from Park Road to Bayview for police investigation. IA Clarington, where they believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com. With the forecast in East Andriachi.
Cool and a fairly cloudy start to the day with the little bit of sunshine here and there in the GTA, but also the next couple of hours, this chance of a few passing scattered showers. And then we have partly cloudy skies through the evening and the overnight. We follow lows near 0. Highs tomorrow near 6 degrees with just a little bit of sunshine before some showers move in for Sunday night. Average highs this time of year 10 degrees. Your guaranteed high today 7.
680 News Time, 10:03.
A 4-alarm fire downtown has sent 2 firefighters to hospital, one seriously hurt.
It happened near Jarvis and Shooter Streets. 680's Mitch Burke joins us live with more on just what happened. Mitch.
Well, Asher, this was initially a 2-alarm call, but shortly after fire crews arrived on scene, the flames growing to 3rd alarm status, and then the incident with these 2 firefighters triggering a 4-alarm response. Now, as for the 2 firefighters, they were in the building fighting the flames from the roof when they fell. Apparently, they had been walking on the roof. They took a step to a part of it they thought was stable, and then it buckled. It's reported that one of them broke his leg and is on the mend, while the other, now reported to be a captain with more than 30 years on the service, he is in intensive care right now in critical condition. Chief Matthew Pegg out with a message of support on Twitter this morning for the 2 injured members of the service, saying his thoughts are with the both of them. Police Chief Mark Saunders offering support as well, tweeting, quote, "The Toronto Police are thinking of our injured Toronto firefighters and their families and colleagues today. As first responder partners, we are with you today." Now, a city building inspector and the fire marshal are on scene right now working to determine what parts of the home are safe to re-enter, where they can then battle hotspots. The 3-story building in question totally vacant. District Chief Stephen Powell tells me a demolition permit had been granted by the city not too long ago, obviously still very early on in the investigation as they work to determine what happened. But you may recall just a couple of months ago at the beginning of November, another vacant heritage building a bit far north at Jarvis and Carleton burning to the ground. It's the 3rd time in 4 years that building was apparently set on fire. Reporting live, Mitch Burke, 680 News.
680 News Time, 10:05. The search continues this morning for the suspect involved in alleged armed robbery in Mississauga that sent a shooting victim to hospital with serious injuries. Constable Sarah Patton tells 680 News what happened so far.
We received a call just before 8 p.m. last night that an adult male had gone to a local Toronto hospital with a gunshot wound. It was due to a robbery that occurred somewhere in the area of Brandon Gate Drive and Catalpa Road in Mississauga.
Investigators say the victim made his own way to hospital, at which point Peel police are made aware of the shooting. His injuries are reported to be non-life-threatening. No suspect information has been released at this time.
680 News Time, 10:06. It may be a tall challenge for some, but it's all for a great cause. The CN Tower climb for United Way is happening this morning. It'll see participants climb the 1,800 steps of the city's largest structure for charity. 680's Jordan Reed has more from the event.
That challenge is all about showing your local love, and that community feel is very alive and present in Toronto. Nicole McEvan from United Way says this is all about turning poverty into possibility.
This year we're aiming for $2 million. We've got 9,000 climbers climbing.
Matthew is 12 years old and just finished a climb, beating his old record.
I'm so tired, I went non-stop. Last year I had a couple breaks, but this time I went non-stop, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
We are too. Now, you don't have to be an athlete to take part in the challenge.
This is our 8th time and always been involved in United Way. I love it. I'm 65 years old, and if I can do it, lots of people can do it for United Way.
The goal is to raise $2 million for local charity. I'm Jordan Reed.
Toronto police continue to investigate after shots rang out at an underground lot of a commercial store in the area of Don Mills and Winford Drive. Police say a man fired multiple shots at another person who is now suffering from gunshot wounds. Several tow trucks were reportedly seen fleeing the scene of the shooting. There's no word if this is connected to the ongoing violence between tow truck companies and the GTA.
Police say a man and a woman have been robbed at gunpoint in Scarborough. The suspect allegedly used a gun to assault two victims before running off from the Danforth Avenue and Sabern Street area near Brimley and Eglinton. Police are now searching for a person considered to be armed and dangerous, wearing green army jogging pants and stands just under 6 feet tall with a thin build. If you see somebody fitting that description, you're urged not to approach them. Call 911 immediately.
On the heels of that classic fall storm that made for one of the wettest Halloweens in years, you'll be noticing cooler feel in the air on this first weekend of November. Our weather specialist, Denise Andriacci, tells us what we're in for.
The trend is for the start of November to be below seasonal, well below the seasonal average. Highs this time of year are closer to 10 degrees. We're in the single digits for the next 7 days. And in fact, by next weekend, we could be seeing highs of only near 2 or 3 degrees.
Your 680 News guaranteed high for today is 7 degrees.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. It's shaping up to be a fight between the Minister of the Environment and environmental activists. 680's Adam Steinberg has more.
Out with criminal proceedings and in with heavy fines, Environment Minister Jeff Urich says the changes will allow his office to deploy quick and effective tools against polluters. Lobbying groups like Environmental Defense disagree. They tell the Toronto Star these offenders will be less deterred by the new structure of fines per incident. A representative for Urich says the proposed expansion of fines is more complex than how it's being described by its critics, adding that cases of serious violations will still be prosecuted. Fines under the new structure range from $10,000 to $200,000. The changes are part of a wide-ranging bill titled the Better for People, Smarter for Business Act. It's open for public input until November 27th. I'm Adam Steinberg.
680 News time, 10:09.
This is 680 News.
The Toys R Us Toy Book is now in store and online with over 2,000 toys on sale up to 40% off. Get the hottest toys of the season on sale from LOL, Lego, Beyblade, Barbie, Paw Patrol, and more. Save 20% on LOL Boys, 20% on all Lego Harry Potter building sets, and 30% on the Hot Wheels Super 6-Lane Raceway. And this weekend only, if it's not on sale, you can still save. When you buy 2 or more regular price toys, save 15% on each. Shop in-store or online at toysrus.ca.
And now the 680 News gas price update. Empro says the price will jump 2 cents at midnight to $1.18.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather are next.
680 News time, 10:10.
Attention sun-deprived deal lovers. Winter is coming and you'll need an escape plan. Right now, Sunwing is offering 10,000 all-inclusive vacations at 40% off. 10,000 vacations may sound like a lot, but saving 40%, now that really is a lot. Book now and prepare to vacation better with Sunwing's award-winning service. Hurry, these deals won't last. Call your travel agent or visit Sunwing.ca.
This next track's going out to Rick, because loving you, Judy says, is easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by January 31st to get $300. Conditions apply.
Congestion's all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by January 31st to get $300. Conditions apply.
680 News time, 10:11.
And for traffic and weather, together on the ones, here's Zach Bodenstein.
And this report is brought to you by IA Clarington Investments. We are looking at these problems on the eastbound 401 ramp to Bayview, left lane block with a crash. No real delay through here. Issues gone on the southbound DBP south of Don Mills. That's some great news. Still slow though, approaching Eglinton to south of Don Mills. Suspect it'll be this way for quite some time. But now that we have all those lanes to work with, things are of course moving better. Congestion congestion looking a lot better through here. We have the South 404 still a bit slow through Major Mackenzie. Northbound DVP really starts to bunch up north of Lawrence up to the 401 ramps. And the northbound 400 looking at a crash as well at Highway 7, blocking the right lane. Emergency vehicles on scene, same with a tow truck and MTO crews. No delay whatsoever, though. Moves very well on the north 400 through this stretch. Not on the westbound 401, though. That's where we have problems west of the 404 and the collectors left lane blocked with a collision. All crews are on scene through here, and it's jammed from Victoria Park in the collectors to west of the 404. So the Express is definitely going to be your friend at this time. Take the Express and you can move through this area very well with no issues. If you're traveling west on the 407, that's where roadwork takes its toll as well, west of Bayview. 4 left lanes are blocked with construction. Very slow through here once you get to Yonge. And right after Yonge, it does look like that's where things start to open up through this stretch. East 403 also a drag from Eglinton to the 401, and the Express crews are in the right lane in this stretch. We have westbound Derry blocked at Airport Road for a spill, and West Shooter closed at Jarvis for a fire investigation. You'll find no access on Rosedale Valley from Park Road to Bayview, all because of a police investigation. IA Clarington, where they believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com. With the forecast, Denise Andriachi.
Partly cloudy downtown Toronto, 6 degrees. Our guaranteed high today is 7. Average high this time of year is 10. After the wild weather on Halloween, we've seen a real shift in the weather. We're starting to tap into some colder air. A cooler air mass kind of sits itself over southern Ontario as we move through the start of November. Partly cloudy tonight, lows near 0. Sun and cloud near 6 degrees for a high on Sunday. See some showers move in Sunday night. No, lows near +1. We may get into a few wet flurries, especially in through the northern tier of the GTA. Monday's highs near 8 degrees with mostly showers all day and very gusty winds. Mostly cloudy and 6 right now at Pearson Airport. It's breezy, winds out of the south. Your guaranteed high 7 degrees.
680 News Time, 10:14.
Rexall can help you realize getting a flu shot is a really good idea. Any day now, I'm going to become a grandmother. So many toys to buy, outfits to pick out, photos to take. I can't get sick right now.
And I'm going to be a dad. So many firsts to look forward to. First smile, first step, first word.
And first dirty diaper.
Yeah, I really can't get sick right now.
You probably have a reason you can't get sick right now. Help protect yourself and your loved ones from the flu. Get your flu shot at Rexall. Visit Rexall.ca for details.
The excitement keeps building in Pickering. Introducing Universal City Tower 3. Stunning lake views. 3 minutes from Pickering Town Center. 2 minutes from the 401. 1 minute from the GO train. Tower 3 from the mid-300s. Register today at universalcitycondos.ca. That's universalcitycondos.ca.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
6 degrees and partly cloudy. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Melissa Nakavali.
And I'm Asher Roth. Here are the top stories this hour.
2 firefighters had to rush to hospital after falling from a roof of an abandoned building that went up in flames earlier this morning. One of the firefighters, a veteran captain, is said to be in serious condition. And Toronto police are continuing to investigate after shots rang out at an underground lot of a commercial store near Don Mills and Winford Drive. Police say a man fired multiple shots at another person who is now suffering from gunshot wounds.
With a peek at the roads, here's Zach. Westbound 401 crash west of the 404 collectors. It's only one left lane that's blocked, but it's jammed from Victoria Park to the collectors. So they express the best option, and full traffic reports ahead at 10:21.
I'm Denise Andriachi in the 680 News Weather Center. Cloudy and cool this weekend, the first weekend of November. Your guaranteed high, only 7 degrees.
And now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Maria St. Aubin.
Thank you, Melissa. The Leafs had a home-heavy schedule in October, playing 9 of 14 at Scotiabank Arena. November will be a different story, and Mitch Marner says that's great.
I think it's good. We're going to get some time to hang out on the road and go for dinner and stuff like that. We haven't been able to really do that over this last month, and it's always big for your team, kind of get chemistry going early, and we still have a lot of new guys on this team, and this month's going to be big for us. We're going to make sure we come ready every game, and just can't be any excuses.
Toronto is on the road tonight facing the Flyers in Philly. Jake Muzzin did not make the trip due to personal reasons. John Tavares did travel and could return tonight after missing 6 games with a broken finger. Puck drop is set for 7. Listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. Meanwhile, the 4-1 Raptors are in Milwaukee facing the 3-2 Bucks. It'll be the first meeting between the two teams since the Eastern Conference Finals. Tip-off is set for 8. You can watch it on Sportsnet 1. Coming up, Denis Shapovalov and Rafael Nadal will battle in the Paris Masters semis. That starts at 11:30. And happening now in EPL action, Bournemouth leads Man U 1-0 in the 84th minute. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour. For any time on the home of Tim and Sid, now on radio and TV, Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
At Pizza Nova, there's something for every pizza lover. Create your own masterpiece with some of our vegan or vegetarian options that include our dairy-free mozzarella, our gluten-free multigrain dough, and our gourmet vegetarian toppings. Ciao, I'm Dominic Dimucci, and I invite you to taste the difference.
RedTag.ca. Looking for the best winter vacation deals? Save big with RedTag.ca on destinations in the Caribbean, Mexico, or even Europe. Plus, enjoy savings on cruise getaways. Book your trip now and pay for it using our monthly payment plan. And get air miles, reward miles on vacation packages. More travel, more savings. Plan your winter getaway today. Restrictions apply. RedTag.ca.
680 News Time, 10:18.
ISIS has a new leader, and there are conflicting reports about how much we know about him. ABC's Stephanie Ramos explains.
We're hearing 2 different statements, one from the president and another from the State Department. A day after ISIS named a new leader in an audio message after the compound raid that led to the death of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the president tweeted, "ISIS has a new leader. We know exactly who he is." That may very well be the case, but the top counterterrorism official at the State Department says the U.S. is still looking into it, adding they will dismantle the group regardless of who its leadership cadre is. That counterterrorism official, Nathan Sales, he says they're looking into the organization and where al-Baghdadi's successor came from. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Crews are battling the last remaining large wildfires in Southern California as flames continue to threaten thousands of homes. The Maria fire erupted on a hilltop east of Los Angeles.
The Maria fire, scorching 5,000 acres in just a few terrifying hours.
And they've got a lot of fire down here, so the truck's going to have to go right through this wall of fire.
Thousands evacuated, their homes in danger, 500 firefighters, and some civilians doing whatever they could.
They got the water going over there.
The underlying issue with all of the dozen or more fires burning across California, low humidity, dry brush, and those high, hot, seasonal Santa Ana winds. The forecast does look good. The winds have dropped. Fingers crossed. No more destruction here in Southern California, at least until the next time. Nick Watt, CNN, Santa Paula, California.
In 60 seconds, we'll check traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 10:20.
The Royal Agricultural Winter Fair is back from November 1st to 10th at Toronto's Intercare Centre. Catch the country's best horse show, including the majestic RCMP musical ride and the Ontario